Hey guys, welcome back to the Carolina Panthers franchise. Week 4 against the Atlanta Falcons is on the way. Before we get there, I want to talk about a couple roster moves we've made before our Week 4 game against the Falcons. We're also going to take a look at some of the things our defense is doing that's helped us get out to this 3-0 start. We'll kick things off with roster move number 1, a trade. A few guys have been on the trade block, but not much interest has really been gained until now. A lot of teams are interested in backup right tackle Nate Chandler. With drafting right tackle Delonte Moore in this past first round, and then having Olin Greco from the previous year's second round, we have two young tackles with a lot of promise. That makes a guy like Nate Chandler potentially expendable for the right price. Chandler is a decent backup, and he was a starter for us in Season 1 and Season 2 for around half of each season. As a starter, he wasn't reliable enough, giving up 7 sacks in each of those years. Chandler is a better run blocker than pass blocker, and it looks like other teams may be willing to give him another shot as a starting right tackle. And so we've had 6 teams offer a deal to get Nate Chandler, most of them involving 4th round picks. Now, it's all about getting the best value for Nate Chandler, and the Jets are 0-3, and so if we take their 4th round pick next year, it might be one of the highest 4th rounders. Pittsburgh is 1-2, they're also offering a 4th round pick. Indianapolis is offering a 4 and a future 7, they're 1-2. The Giants are also 0-3, but they're offering a future 4th, not a 4th in this coming year's draft. Therefore, I think that the Jets offer us the best value, hopefully giving us a high 4th round pick in return. Chandler would likely back up 34-year-old David Stewart and have a chance to start in the future. That would leave us with Delonte Moore at right tackle, Olin Greco who can play either side, and current starting left tackle, veteran Andrew Whitworth. We would have to address backup tackle sometime in the future, but getting a 4th round pick in return is probably a deal we have to take. And so we have traded Nate Chandler to the New York Jets for a 4th round pick, giving us 3 now in this upcoming draft. I like stocking up on picks, and we already have 9 for next year's draft. And so with that, we have an open roster spot. 1 player can be added, and we're not going to make another trade. We made a free agent signing this week. Welcome back to Carolina, Julius Peppers. One of the greatest Panthers of all time is back in black and blue. 81 sacks in his time here in Carolina as a 2nd overall pick in the 2002 draft. Since 2010, when he left to Chicago, he spent 4 years with the Bears, 2 with the Packers, was out of football last year, and this year could not find a home with the Texans, who cut him just last week. And so Julius Peppers is back, and we're giving him a chance to be a specialized pass rusher for us, mostly on 3rd down. Peppers is obviously no longer in his prime, but I do think he can help us out on 3rd downs, and we're doing a lot of new things this year with our pass rush that I'm going to be talking about here in just a couple minutes. So he played only 58 snaps in 2 games for the Texans, and with no production they ended up cutting him. So now we'll see if he can bounce back in Carolina with the Panthers. Our pass rush has done a good job so far. 4 sacks for Charles Johnson through 3 games. Coney Ely has 3 in his first year as a starter. K'Juan Short with 3. Star Latulele with 2. Bob Butler and Derek Wolfe each have 1. One of the things I try to do on defense is utilize our depth. I like to keep guys fresh, especially Star and Short, who can be 2 very disruptive players when they're fresh in the second half of games. I think we've seen that now in our last 2 contests, that our pass rush really gets going in that second half. And I think a lot of that has to do with us taking those guys off the field and utilizing some new packages, including this one right here, a 2-4-5 where we slide Coney Ely and Charles Johnson, 2 big, strong edge rushers, put them inside, and then put 2 guys outside, 2 linebackers. We've been doing that with Bob Butler and Devontae Spears. I think Julius Peppers upgrades that spot because Devontae Spears is not meant to be a pass rusher. Also on our bench, we have Titarius Beckwith and Martez Henry. I still want to get those guys some snaps, but I do think Julius Peppers can provide an impact, as I wouldn't have signed him if I didn't think he could. He's going to be a specialized pass rusher for us, whether his hand is in the dirt or he's rushing from a stand-up position. So now we're going to look through at some plays from our last 2 games where our pass rush has done a very nice job. This right here is just straight front 4 pressure late in the game. That's the most basic way we get to the quarterback. However, we're playing a lot more aggressively this year and blitzing far more than in the past. Here is a 4-3 overlook with Bob Butler as the weak side linebacker. We bring him on a blitz, he's unblocked and sacks Derek Carr. Now we'll go to one of our nickel packages, the 2-4-5 that I talked about earlier, Butler and Spears off the edge. Our strength here is in the middle with Charles Johnson and Coney Ely as Johnson applies pressure and that forces the errant pass that gets picked off by Josh Norman. Quarterbacks do not like that pressure rate in their face. Here it is once again. This time it's Star Latulele beating his man, and that forces Carr to step up and run right into Charles Johnson. That's one of those sacks where multiple guys deserve credit, and we get a lot of those. Here we have Carr being hit by unblocked AJ Klein, and then being finished off by Coney Ely. We'll go back to week 2 and show off the 4 defensive end package. It's still Johnson and Derek Wolfe on the inside. Wolfe beats the guard, hits Matt Ryan to force the incomplete pass. That was a huge play on 3rd down in that second half. Now we go back to some 2-4-5 as Ryan steps up and he goes down. There's Coney Ely as he can do a good job off the edge and rushing from the inside. One more play and we see the same thing. Charles Johnson this time gets the pressure. Pass was tipped by Malik Carpenter. We get a lot of pass rush from our interior as we have 2 extremely disruptive defensive tackles and 2 defensive ends who can kick inside. Now with Julius Peppers in the mix, hopefully that can provide a bigger presence off the edge in those same packages. We're living by the philosophy of you can never have too many pass rushers. We now have multiple guys who can come off the bench, provide some rush off the edge, and hopefully Julius Peppers makes our pass rush even better. It's exciting to have him back in the Panthers uniform. Now let's see if he can make an impact. Julius Peppers makes his Panthers return in week 4 against the Atlanta Falcons. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, which will help other people find my channel and enjoy the series as well. Comment below your thoughts on the 2 roster moves we made, and of course the clips of our pass rush, and subscribe for much more Panthers franchise to come if you have not already. I'll see you guys in week 4 soon against the Atlanta Falcons. Have a great day.